Have you ever engaged in a serious debate over which is better, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? Have you ever played Smash or Pass using only characters from Star Wars and Marvel movies? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we have the podcast for you. Listen to The Steam Gentlemen, the podcast where an expert panel convenes to ask the questions about pop culture and social commentary that other podcasts are afraid to ask. Listen to The Steam Gentlemen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, Wrestling Fans International Association is back. That's right, the premier fan club association of the 1970s and 1980s has been revived and is back in business. Join today. It's free at thewfia.org. That's thewfia.org. You can also join us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/WFIA 1969. Welcome back, everybody, to the 1987 Supermod. I am your host, Brad Drake, and this is the World Wrestling Federation. Once again, as the WWF Tour continues. Tonight, the WWF invades enemy territory. That's right, you heard me right. We're invading enemy territory as we're cruising into the OMNI in Atlanta, Georgia, a stronghold for Jim Crockett Promotions, everybody. And this is serious business with a serious card. Let's check for those who are out injured. Everybody's out, not here that what we expect. Let's take a look at our backstage instance. SG Jones, what's going on with SD? He's pulling our rib, got everybody laughing. Good stuff. All right, Chief Jay Strongbow and Mario Mancini are doing their thing. And Pedro Morales and Gustavo Mendoza continue their protege relationship. All right. Let's take a look at our card here for tonight, everybody. Once again, we are in the OMNI in Atlanta, Georgia. Terry Gibbs is going to battle David Sammartino. Frenchy Martin will face SD Jones. Outback Jack is going to battle Tiger Chung Lee. The Shadows will face the Young Stallions. Joe Mirto will face Nikolai Volkoff. Bobby Heenan, everybody, is going to climb into the ring against Ken Patera. King Kong Bundy is going to face Jake the Snake Roberts. Mr. Wonderful Paul Ornodorff is on the cusp of his babyface turn here as he climbs into the ring with the King, Harley Race. In our semi-main, everybody, the Killer Bees, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell and B. Brian Blair will face Demolition, of course, comprised of Axe and Smash, the only Demolition. And in our main event, everybody, the magnificent Muraco, who's on the cusp of a face turn himself, is going to battle Hulk Hogan for that heavyweight championship of the world. And as usual, everybody, anything that's got an asterisk was added to this card to either replace something that couldn't happen or to just give us the 10 matches. With all that said, everybody, let's get to booking. And here we go, the 8-minute opener. We have Gibbs versus Sammartino. And here is Terry Gibbs. Here is David Sammartino. Terry Gibbs, I learned, actually had some success in Florida and in Memphis a little bit. So he was not always an enhancement talent. Terry Gibbs was very good in the ring and very good at what he did. David Sammartino with the win here, everybody. Up next, we have Frenchy Martin and SD Jones. Another 8-minute bout here. You know, we've gotten away from doing the women's matches, so we're going to have to start adding them in there. Here's Frenchy Martin, and here is SD Jones. Special Delivery, going to get the win here. Special Delivery, of course, is a very good friend of Tony Atlas. And up next, we have our next, what I call preliminary matches here. And this one is going to be Outback. Jack versus Tiger Chung Lee. Tiger Chung Lee, of course, a crafty veteran. Still wrestling in his 70s. Had a match just last year. Outback Jack, of course, was a big guy the WWF brought in. They thought they could capitalize on the popularity of Crocodile Dundee with him, and it just did not work out. Outback Jack wasn't very well liked. He was kind of loud and boisterous, and he got reduced to enhancement status by this point and would roll out the rest of his time in the WWF as enhancement talent. And we accidentally gave Outhouse the win here. And that should actually be Tiger Chung Lee getting the win. Tiger Chung Lee main evented for the WWF on several occasions and was also a star in Japan. So he's no slouch. All right, the Shadows are in there against the Young Stallions. They're going to go 10 minutes. The Shadows are going to do what the Shadows do best, and that's drop this bout to the Young Stallions. And we're going to have Paul Roma get that win for his team. Young Stallions with the W, everybody. Joe Mirto is in there against Nikolai Volkoff. I'm not even sure if we have Joe Mirto on the roster. I know he's on the AWA roster. Ah, there he is. There's Joe Mirto. Ah, I got Joe Mirto confused with another guy. Yes, we definitely have Joe Mirto. Here's Nikolai Volkoff. If you ask me, this was a pretty crappy card. But, again, that's WWF running 2 or 3 towns a night. All right, there we go. Nikolai Volkoff with the W here, everybody. And of course, I got to click on the right thing here in order to make it happen. Up next, the Brain. Bobby Heenan is getting in the ring against Patera. This match did not happen for real, but I am making it happen here. And here is Bobby Heenan. And here is Ken Patera. Bobby Heenan would still on occasion climb into the ring. And this feud's been going on for a while, and without a doubt, we're going to have Ken Patera get the win here. This one wouldn't even have gone 12 minutes, but in our case, that's what we're doing. All right, King Kong Bundy against Jake Roberts. They're going 14 here. They are. Bundy versus Roberts. I think that was Ernie Ladd is quoted as saying, Bundy. He would call him Bundy. So there is King Kong Bundy. Here's Jake Roberts. And in real life, Jake Roberts got the win by countout. That's what we're going to do here. Because we can. That's why. There we go. Roberts, the Snake, with the W. Up next, we have Paul Ornodorff. And he's in there against King Harley Race. What are they going here? 16? Yeah. All right, Paul Ornodorff, who is just not good in this version of the mod. And he's in there against Harley Race. Ornodorff is going to get the win here. And let's see if we can turn him. Yeah, we can. All right, so Harley Race will attack Paul Ornodorff after the match. And Paul Ornodorff is going to be a babyface after this. So there we go. Let's adjust it right now. Why not, right? There's Ornodorff. He's out. We're getting a little top heavy with baby faces here. But that's okay. There's enough to go around, no doubt about it. All right, the Killer Bees are in there against Demolition. 18 minutes these two teams are going to go. This one's easy because it's just click and play. Here's the Killer Bees. Here are Demolition. Now, let's Let's see who won the last time because it's been a while since I recorded. So let's look up Brian Blair. All right, Demolition got the win the last time. Killer Bees get the win this time. We're going to have Brunzell get the win for his team. All right, good stuff. Here comes our big main event, everybody. 25 minutes. And we're going to go 30. We're going to go 30 minutes. Why not? We're going to have Muraco versus Hogan. The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line. Notice how I put emphasis on heavyweight. It's the World Championship. There's no such thing as a World Championship. It has to designate, that's the class. That has to designate what the weight class is. So here is Magnificent Muraco. Here's Hulk Hogan. I know I've talked about this before, but there are many different types of world titles. A World Tag Team Champion is considered a World Champion. World Junior Weight Champion. Junior Heavyweight Champion is considered a World Champion. A World Light Heavyweight Champion is considered a World Champion. So therefore, it has to be called the World Heavyweight Champion. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. All right, the Hulkster is going to get the victory here in this epic. And let's go ahead and run this one, everybody. How did we get screwed up with time here? Probably because I made it a half-hour bout. All right, here we go. Just under 2.5 hours here. Let's go ahead and start the show and see how we do. Gibbs versus Sammartino. Sammartino wins with that torture rack. 58 is not a bad score for the young man here. SD Jones with the headbutt win over Frenchy. Martin. En français, s'il vous plaît. All right, Outback Jack is in there against Tiger Chung Lee. Tiger Chung Lee gets the win with that tombstone pile driver. 36 overall for these two. The young Stallions get that win over the Shadows once again. 59 overall for these two teams. 64 to 54. Very respectable for the Stallions. Up next, Volkoff wins with that Russian bear hug over Joe Mirto. We get a whopping 59 for this one. Ken Patera gets the win over Bobby Heenan with that his own version of the bear hugs. That's 2 bear hugs we've seen now. And this one surprisingly only gets a 73. I thought we'd do better than that. But that's all right. King Kong Bundy against Jake Roberts. 75 and an 89 somehow only gets a 78. Fair enough. Roberts with the W. All right, Ornodorff and Race. 88 and a 67. Ornodorff is horrible in this mod, and I have no idea why. And Paul Orndorff gets to win with that pile driver. I still think Paul Orndorff had one of the best pile drivers in the history of wrestling. Oh no, we want to do his turn. There we go. Orndorff's officially a baby face, and we will get him away from the clutches of Bobby Heenan. 76 for these two. Another disappointing score, but Paul Orndorff is just disappointing in this save. Here we go. The Killer Bees and Demolition. We get an outstanding 88 score for these two. Really good stuff here. Lots of green. Deservedly so. The OMNI is getting a show with this tag team match. And up next, here comes our big main event. 188 gets us a 94 overall as the Hulkster defends the World Heavyweight title against Magnificent Muraco. We're going to finish this one up, everybody, and we're going to make some speeches. We're going to point out the Hulkster himself. We're going to point out Brian Blair. And we're going to point out Jim Brunzell. All 3 of these, and great performance, no doubt about it. All right, Hogan is pleased. Blackjack Lanza, who I accidentally clicked on, is pleased. And Jimmy Brunzell is pleased. That's what you do, everybody, when you get intense. All right, up next, we're going to be in the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. This one in the OMNI is history. Of course, I'll put that card together in between recordings here and get things rolling. And this one is still loading. The save is pretty big nowadays, so it takes a little while to load. And let's take a look here. Tom McGee is living in New England. Tiger Chung Lee is living in the Pacific Northwest. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And Primetime Wrestling gets 6 million viewers. Probably more than that back then, but regardless, good stuff. All right, let's get Orndorff away from Heenan. We're not too far away from when Orndorff was shortly managed by Oliver Humperdinck, but that doesn't happen yet. All right, so that's going to do it for us, everybody, for this one. For those of you that are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Drop a message below. Let us know you found the channel, what you think of us so far. For those of you looking for more, you, my friends, can absolutely 100% find it over on Patreon, patreon.com/PowerCast Network. Over there, you will find access to all of our spreadsheets, all access to all of our shows early and ad-free. You will get access to the latest version of the Supermod and so much more, everybody. Check it out today. Patreon.com/PowerCast Network. Don't forget to find us over on social media, Facebook.com/group/1987 Supermod. And you can also become a member for free of the Wrestling Fans International Association by heading on over to the WFIA.org. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next time.